What's up, everybody? Straight Shot here, doing a new game. You can't really tell what's going on right here, but I wanted to be a slight surprise on what we're doing today. I found this game yesterday. It's been on my wish list for quite some time. I've been kind of following it. Wanted to wait until there's a few other things on the docket, but it is Space Engineers. If you're into any kind of games where you have to basically gather resources to build either a base or build up from there and grow yourself, this is that game. It actually is an awesome game. Docked probably about 4 or 5 hours in it. I didn't want to get so far ahead to where I didn't want to start all over again. So to do this series, but I wanted to do a new series with you guys, and this is what I wanted it to be. So we're gonna start off kind of easy. Again, I'm a beginner at this. I want to make sure that I don't jump into something so crazy to where we can't even finish it, but let's do this. Looks like we got some water right down there, a nice big mountain there, and we are right on the side of a mountain. I hope we don't roll down it. I tried this once and I rolled probably good 25 feet. And we are on. And we're out. I'm not sure why these guys are not locking in for whatever reason. I started taking some of the pieces apart of my other pod and it rolled a little bit more and then finally locked. So I'm not sure why it doesn't lock. But we're going to leave it as is. I think we should be able to get to what we need to get to, which is right up there. And yes, we can. So what we're going to do, let's see. Other piece that we got to get to is right there. So let's get started. Basically what we got to do is we got to start from scratch. We have nothing to start with. But as you can see, my number one is a welder. We'll get to that in a second. A grinder. This is what we're looking for here. Is this. So basically what we need is we actually start digging into this stone here. Before I start getting too crazy, I may build right off the side of this mountain here. Right off the edge of here. So I want to make sure and be ideal. I don't want to, start digging where I want to build. So I want to kind of go a little way, not so far to where it's a long run, but a good distance to where I'm not digging into where I want to build. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit here and I'm going to drill into this. I'm going to gather as much stone as I can, start building some stuff away, and then I will be right back. What's up, guys? We're back. Just collecting a little bit more of this stone. As you can tell, I got just a little bit of this, not a whole bunch. Basically, yes, you can terraform. You can use this as a way to dig tunnels and have an underground base. You can do it to terraform if you're building off the side of a mountain somewhere and you kind of see like it's jagged and you want to flatten it out a little bit. You can do that. It's not as easy to flatten out and stuff, but you can get it to a point where it's manageable. I'm doing this right now, like I said, only to basically get the materials that I need so that we can start building the things that we need to build. As these are coming down, I'm just hitting F to pick up, and it does a good job of telling what you're supposed to hit, when you're supposed to hit it. A lot of times there is hotkeys where one button does one thing, but if you hold down Alt and hit it again, it does something totally different. So again, if you want to play this and kind of learn it, you don't know anything about it, I would just highly recommend going through that little tutorial, the survival part, and it gives you pretty much a lot of stuff to work with so that you can work on what you're trying to do. And learn more than starting off with nothing and having to start fresh. So basically what we're doing now is I just go to the little production tab. When your ship drops, hopefully it doesn't drop like mine. Mine's broken. So basically what you want to do is you want to just go to this little part here where it says the little open terminal survival kit. Click on it. You'll go to the production side, and then you have right over here ingots is what you're going to be making. You have to tell this, eventually you'll get to a point where it'll auto create whatever. For example, if you get iron ore, things like that. It'll auto create that stuff. But this, because we're putting stone in, we have to tell it what we want. And stone can be auto farmed as well. It'll turn into exactly what you get here, but it basically does it on its own. It's set up on power, but we haven't gotten there yet, obviously. So what I do is I just basically go in and shift click this. Shift clicking makes 1,000, does 100 at a time. Control click does 10 at a time, and just single clicks does 1 at a time. So basically, you can go in and set this to an even number, whatever you want, but basically it's telling me what I need and how much I have available. So if I go into the inventory here and I drop some more stone in, it'll start making more. So you do start it's very difficult, because just basically you get a little bit, you mine a little bit, you put in a little bit and produce a little bit, and then mine a little bit. It's very, very small increments, but it's fun. It is fun. So as this is making, as you can tell, it's making me gravel, it's making iron ingots, nickel ingots, and silicone wafers. So basically, to start creating, what we're gonna do is we're gonna start building a platform. And to build a platform, like I said, I'm not liking this. So where's a good view? I'm liking this view with the water in the background, a few of the trees. So basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna build this platform facing off this way. We actually may have to tear that down sooner than I want to. But basically I'm gonna start building off this way. And what we need is we need power, because right now we have a little bit. I'm hitting X to kind of activate my jetpack so I can come in and refill all my stuff. You can refuel, you can refill all your oxygen. We are on an Earth-like planet. If you're in space or something, you would have to have, right now I have my visor, I'll show you. My visor is up because I don't need oxygen, but I can actually close my visor. So if I'm out in space, I'll have it like this and I'm using oxygen. But since I'm on a Earth-like planet that's got oxygen, I don't need to use it. But you also can refill your health as well with this. I like going in first person just because that's my game style. All right, so let's go ahead, and if you hit G, you can open up your blocks that you can make. And as of right now, we're in the progressing stage. So basically, if you use one, like the basic assembler, and then new blocks will open up for you, and other blocks, so it works in tiers. And it shows you your project. So if you're trying to get to a certain point and you're trying to get to where you want certain things like turrets, Gatling turrets, things like that, or auto turrets, you need it'll basically tell you exactly what you need to build off of what and where to go. And so what you have to build first, or at least make and drop down, you'll get that next tier. So basically what I'm working with here is your light armor block. As you can tell, if you hover over it on the far, I can't point to it, but way on the far left, my left, your right, it's basically all the way, it says components there. What we need is steel plates, and it requires 25. There's a way around that in the beginning, because we don't just have steel plates just falling from the skies yet. We will at some point. So the way around that is you're going to make the steel plates, and once you make the steel plates, you can just lay them on the framings, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. All right, so basically, once you come in, like I said, I've got this. I can cancel that out. I just right-click on it to cancel out. But you start off with your ingots, and you have to manually make those. You have your basic tools. So say you, for whatever reason, accidentally drop a tool and lose it, or something happens to it, or something crazy happens to it, you can rebuild your tools here. So you get your grinder, your hand drill, and your welder. And then you come over to the far right and you got basic components. Right now, what we want to make is steel plates. I'm just going to do 100 for now. But again, like I said, I have a little trick on what, it's not like my trick. It's what I've learned from other people, but basically we're not going to sit there and wait and do 25 pieces at a time. So once you come in, hit G, you want to make sure that you have whatever your blocks you're needing, or whatever basically you're looking for the block, and you can put it on your toolbar. But you have actually a total of 9 different toolbars. So if you have an adventure set that you want to go on, and you want to make sure you have a drill with you, and you want to make sure you have a weapon with you, you can do that on 2, 3, or 4, whatever you want. But I'm just going to be working with 1 right now. You have your light armor block, and we're going to hit, which is on my number 4 already. I hit it in, and there it is. If I hit 4 again, I can make little smaller blocks. So if I'm building a ship or something, I can do smaller blocks. And as you can tell on the far right, top far right, you see where it says the little blue arrow, the green arrows is home and end. So if I hit home, you won't be able to really tell, but it flips and it rotates. So I can actually have this going down at an angle. I can have it rising up. I don't want it to do that, but I'm going to hit B so that it aligns it with the curve, the Earth. You just hit B, hit it twice, and then boom, you're good to go. But I do not like it going that way. I do want to kind of rotate it. So I'm gonna hit delete a little bit. And hit B again. Basically, you can lock it to a 90 degree. So if you hit B, you can hold it to a 90 degree. So if I was to hit B now, and I hit delete, it's gonna rotate just like that. If I hit B again, it'll do it in a locked 90 degree angle. I don't want that. I want to adjust it to where we can face it straight off that way. Raise it up just a little bit. And so when you lay it down, it's almost like if you've ever played 7 Days to Die, it's almost like laying down a wood frame. You lay down a wood frame, you can stand on that frame, you can use that frame, but it's very vulnerable. It doesn't have as many hit points, but you can still use it. And the same thing works here, and I'm only using one at a time versus the 25 that it's requiring. So if I want to turn this into the steel block, I have to have 25 of the steel plates. Again, we don't have a lot of it. Don't you roll on me. And we're out. Flatten this out. So and the way this works is it does work on the edge, so I have to actually be touching. So if I want to match up, if I don't want to match up, I do like this. A lot of times what it'll do is it'll match up and lock in when you don't want it to. So if I wanted to raise this up, I could, but I do want to make this where it's a flat plane so I can just walk right on and right off, and I'm not running into the ellipse right there like that, like so. All right, so the next thing we do is we want to have power. So I'm actually going to push our power off right here. We hit my jetpack, so I want my power to be up there. As you can see on my number 7, what we need is actually a wind turbine, so we need power, a constant form of power. And what it's going to tell me is I need an interior plate. If you look on the far right, the bottom, it tells you exactly all the things that you need. So basically, what you need to do is come over and start building interior plates. All right, I'm going to do some more mining because we're going to need a lot more stuff. And I will come back. All right, we're back. And I've got some materials here. I've been mining away. As you can tell, this hole is getting really bigger and bigger. I actually started going straight that way because I didn't want to run into me working on this here. So I'm going to start digging out little holes that way. It's going to be a lot of digging at some time soon. So basically, we are ready now to do our wind turbine. Let's get this thing set. And once you have set what you want to set and you want to build it, it's basically going to just put a frame up, kind of like this. It's going to do that with everything. It just puts the frame of that building up. And so basically, you come up with your tool, and as long as you have everything you need, you just start building. And as you can tell, I need 8 motors, construction comps, girders, and that looks like it. I need 4, 18, and 8. See if we can't make those. So 8, 4. Can't remember how many I need of those. Need 18. All right. It'll get to a point where it's functional, but you want to make sure that it's 100% because it works the best when it's at 100%. So now we have power. Congratulations. We have advanced in technological advancements, and it's awesome. So now that we have power, or a way to generate power, we're going to eventually want to add a few more of these, and then we'll get to a point where we want to add different types of power, and it's more efficient, obviously. But once we get to that point, we are going to enjoy ourselves, I promise you. All right, so once we got this little power here, now we want a more efficient way to start building and creating and refining the stone that we pick, and then eventually we're going to get to digging deeper so that we can get iron ore and different ores that we actually can get pure ores out of it, instead of having to dig and get all this random stuff, which is not bad to get that, but it's more efficient, obviously, to get the ores. So basically what we're going to do next is we're going to start working on getting that. Once I get all the materials together to where we can start building those, I will be back. All right, guys, we're back. I've got a few more materials. I think I have enough for this stuff, but I might not. So basically what we're going to do is going to get the basic refinery up. I want to turn it to where the yellow box there is actually facing me. So actually when you lay it down, you won't be able to see it just yet. And then the other thing that we want to make is this assembler here. Now I will want to rotate this so I can look at it. Now, first thing I want to do is I want to make sure that I have everything that I need to do this. Basically, when it comes through, obviously I need some more motors. I need more steel plates. We need quite a bit. All right, I'm gonna have to do some more mining, and I'll be back. And we're back again. I do believe I have everything. Let's see. I'm missing one piece steel plate, but I do have some steel plate making. So, and we are functional. We'll just be 99% there. I will go grab me another steel plate. Just didn't grab them all. Boom. Now we have a basic refinery. Let's take this stone out. As you can tell, I just dropped it in and it automatically made it. Oh, it's just so nice to be able to have that and not have to tell it to make it every time. So basically, once we start getting stone, I'd start dropping in the stone. Difference is now, does it store it for us? So basically, we're gonna have to get a storage unit. We're going to plan on putting that back here, and we can just interlink everything. And the fun thing about this is, if you've ever played a game called Satisfactory, it's very similar to that, to where once you link things together, it basically has conveyors that move it. The difference between that and this is you don't actually see the items move across. I do believe that helps with performance. But what it does is it actually links everything together so that when you have certain pieces together, if you hit this little button here, you can see all the connected devices. So you can see my generator, you can see my cargo container, which I've got some components in there I didn't realize I had. You can see my weapon and everything else that's in there. So basically you can see everything that's connected together via those conveyor belts. And the good thing about those conveyors is, just like on these little blocks here that I showed you earlier, to where you can change the size of them, you can do the same thing with the conveyors, and it works the exact same way. So basically you can have a miniature version of all this instead of having it take up a huge amount of room. If you look here, this little piece right here is a miniature version. That's just a survival kit though, but you can get a miniature version of your refinery and everything. So you can actually take and make a refinery, either car or a unit, and then you can make a ship that goes out and explores, and you can put a refinery on it. Then you go out and make a mobile refinery, and that to me is just amazing. You can put a drill set on it where it goes in and actually drills for you, and then it sends all the materials up to the refinery. The refinery automatically refines them, and then auto sends it over and starts creating things. And you just go to one little panel that's connected to it, and you tell it what you want and what you need, and boom, there you have it. It's all wonderful stuff. It also reminds me of a game, a mod in Minecraft. I can't off the top of my head think about what it is. It's like it may be refinery something. It's but anyways, it's basically the same way. As long as the computer system's all connected, you can auto craft, you can auto do everything. It's amazing stuff. So we're gonna continue to get this going. I'm gonna basically go ahead and get this guy, and this is basically just the assembler. So we use it to make does basically what this little guy was doing, but in a much more efficient way. Basically, I can create things, tell it what I want it to make for me, and it makes it for me in here, and I can connect it all together into the refinery and the storage unit. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to work on that, and we'll be right back. And we're back. I do believe we have enough of the pieces. Steel plates. We don't have enough steel plates. I lied. Can make it functional though. All right, now we have an assembler. It is exactly what the other two pieces, that one piece was doing, that these two can do. You may ask yourself, well, why not just use this? Because why do you have two versus one? Efficiency. It's all about efficiency. This right here can make it faster and a lot easier. And I'm not sure if it uses less materials or not. Let's look at it. So it takes 7 iron to make 1 steel plate here. Nope, 7. So it takes the same amount, it may take longer. So let's cancel this out. Let's grab all of our materials that we can grab. Take some of the stuff out of our inventory so we'll have more space. All right, and so what we're going to do now is I'm going to make a storage piece that we're going to put here. I'm going to connect the two so that we have everything connected here. And then once I get that done, we'll be working on some other things. So we'll be right back. Well, guys, I'm back. Been doing a little bit of work. Haven't gotten too much further from the last time we left off. I had to go help some friends out, and so when I came back, I worked on it a little bit. So kind of ran out of time, but I did change over a beacon here. Did add a beacon back here so I can start deconstructing this guy a little bit. Not everything on it, but I'll probably keep him for a little bit just so I can make my first ship probably out of it. I don't know. I just got to kind of see how it is when I get there. I did start working on this guy here. It's a survival kit. I wanted to connect everything together through the survival kit. I'm probably going to move him over and connect him back here. Well, without falling off, so that I can connect through everything here and have everything set up to where I can just come in, boom, everything's connected here. But I've got to have medical components, which are made here. As you can see, I need some silver ingots. I do not have any silver whatsoever at all. So I've got to either go find some, or I'm going to have to deconstruct the one that's in here in hopes that I'll get it. I don't know if I don't know how that works yet. I haven't played long enough to know. There are people out there that know more about this than I do, but I don't know if you tear that down, if you get all the parts. I have torn some stuff off of here. As you can tell, I took the seat out and I took the beacon out of here to put there. So I did do that. But the thing is it didn't give me all the pieces when I did the beacon. So I don't know what happened or why it did that. But anyways, I'm gonna call it here. I think the video has run long enough. So also, the other thing I did is I raised these up, because if you connect here, go to the control panel and I go to my wind turbines, you can look and see here, you see the type, what it is, the max output and the current input, all that are max output, current output, and the wind clearance, and that's showing good, and optimal. So I'm not sure they're all at the same level. Maybe I've got to set one back because it's in the way. I don't know what I've got to do with those, but maybe I'll just move one back a little bit further so they're kind of offset a little bit. Maybe that'll make them all optimal. But anyways, I had to move them up a little bit just because they weren't pushing out enough power. But now we're putting out plenty of power as of right now. And then I'll eventually go into making solar panels, and then I'm gonna make batteries so I can store all that. When solar panels are getting the most juice from the sun during the day, they can store it during the day, so at night if I'm running anything, it doesn't really hurt me so bad. So that's the goal. I'm going to continue doing this. I think what I'm gonna have to do next is I'm gonna have to start working on trying to make a rover of some sort, something to where I can travel all over. I don't know how I'm gonna, I mean, this terrain is just crazy. If you look at it, it's all over the place. I had no idea how I'm going to be able to get around. If anything, I can start mining the, I believe from the magnesium I get, I believe, or the silicone. I can't remember. I'm going to have to figure out, you can make the bottles to refill your hydrogen so that I can, fly further and use the hydrogen bottles and use that on me so I can travel places and kind of see where some stuff is so that I know where to go and I can go mine stuff there for iron and instead of doing all this stone, because I'm about to tear this entire mountain down before everything's said and done. But I hope you enjoyed what you saw. If you've got any suggestions, again, I'm not a pro at this. This is just a little bit of what I've learned. There's plenty of videos out there that do 10 times better than I do as far as explaining things. This is just a playthrough, so I wanted you guys to kind of play this with me, and I enjoyed you guys being with me. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that thumbs up. If you didn't, thumbs down. And if you want to get more videos, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell notification as well. So I appreciate you. I hope you have an awesome day. See you next time.